to show you something that makes a lot of questions in France since now 2 years, and it's about a new consumption, a new practice about to have sex but with drugs. This is not something new, and all the literature is talking about this since the beginning of the 70s in the gay community. But it's the first time that a very special kind of product are using by injection and in the gay community and to have sex in groups. So that's what I'm going to try to show you very fast, because we made this rapid assessment about 6 months ago, and the results are just coming out since 2 or 3 weeks. So it's brand new, and I'm very pleased to show you what's going on. So the slam, it's an English term, like a bang or shot. We can also talk and speak about a flash, just because the effect is like, you understand what I mean? I'm very pleased that you understand immediately. So the term is used by gay men to describe the injection of various types of psychostimulants in sexual settings. Psychostimulants, we're going to come back later, but it's like just the catenon, and it's always the same kind of products. It's catenon, MDMA, or cocaine. There is, for the moment, for this practice, there is nothing else. No, that the 3 major products used by these people. So why did you do a study on slam? Just because at the beginning, when the people they come back to it and they start thinking about what's happened during the night in the gay community, and about 10 guys, 10 gay men, 35 years old, totally gay, absolutely gay, and they use drugs, they use injection, and they have sex for hours and hours and hours. And a new kind of drugs. So we said, okay, it's going to be like a big problem, just because we have to work on so now we have to work on the prevention, like the sexual traditional prevention, but we have to work at the same time on the harm reduction. And this is really new, because all of this public was not drug users, the traditional drugs users by injection. So this practice was totally new. And that really made big problems for us, just to think about what's going to be the best way to educate, to give information to these people, because the practice was new, the products were new, and it's about sexuality. So the combination of all of these different things was really like a mess, and we decided to make this rapid assessment. So it's from 2011, the slam camps, and it's not only in France, it's also in London, Brussels, Berlin, maybe in Barcelona. I heard about this practice in Barcelona too. In fact, it's in all the very big gay city, or big attractive gay city in Europe and States, and so it's starting everywhere. The first time I talked to Luis about it, he said, I don't know it's really in Lisbon, maybe 2 guys or 3 guys. I've heard just about these 2 or 3 guys. So, you're lucky. In France, it's about 300 or 400 people now in the country. I'm not going to read it, you can do it. So it makes a lot of questions. What are the health consequences, and to what extent and how should we intervene? The objectives of the study: provide a more precise knowledge of slam, identify the issues involved in this phenomenon, the determinant of restocking, identify the requirements of those involved so as to offer courses of action which respond to these requirements. The rapid assessment, it's something very interesting. It's a very short study in the time, so that's why we were thinking that it was the best way to know more about everything. And the rapid assessment process is an inductive approach, working for the field, face-to-face meeting, focus group, a diverse and non-representative sample. The team comprises an insider, people from head, who is injector with the same practice, was the insider in this group. So this is really interesting because it's like peer-to-peer exchange and face-to-face. So it's a kind of work very interesting. And the researcher, there were 2 sociologists, 1 psychologist, 1 immunologist. So it's like it's a really complete team, and all of the face-to-face are all together. It's never just one person and another one. And we wanted to understand the situation from the insider point of view, and a full review in a short time frame and a steering committee. So 23 people were auditioned and interviewed for this study between June and July. I was inside not as an injector but as an expert. So, and after that, 10 people were consumers. 4 was ex-consumers and ex-slammers. 3 friends of slammers, friends just because we don't know exactly, it's declarative. They say exactly what they want and we don't have to check if it's right or not. So, and 6 focal points, 3 representatives from NGOs, 1 doctor and 2 addictionologists. For the users, the slam, however, the practice, slam, it's defined as follows: an intravenous injection in sexual settings of various psychostimulant products. By the informant, it's going to be little. We interviewed men, only MSM, aged between 25 and 57 years old. So it's something that we can see. It's every people, every age. It's not like a specific community, and they are not all very young or all very. That was a big surprise actually, because it's the whole community is concerned, or kind of. They were all living in Paris, but it was just for the study because we have people everywhere in France. And surrounding area is socially integrated. At the beginning of the study, they were all employed with very good job, or kind of, and very integrated, socially integrated. 9 of them was HIV positive, including 1 hepatitis C positive, and 5 HIV negative, which was it's the same. At the beginning, before starting the study, we were thinking that they were all HIV positive, just because they describe all the time sexuality without condoms, without prevention, or a certain kind of prevention, but based on something else than condoms. And after a few days, we said, oh my God, so it's HIV positive or not? So it's a mix, it's everybody again. Use of other psychoactive products on the party scene or sexual settings, which is really important because most of the people, they describe this phenomenon, and they said, okay, but we know the drug use in the gay community, but there is really nothing to see with what happened and what exists in the clubbing or parties. This is really not the same use. It can be the same product, but you don't use injection. You don't use injection to go to a party, and it's really only for the sexual. Condomless sex for the most part, group sex and feasting. The sex is for sure sensual. And tension, because they don't live very well the fact that they inject. So tension when they are confronted with their own injecting practices. the slum phenomenon, not men now. Understanding the scope and geography, it was not an objective to appreciate. Yeah, we were not thinking about to know exactly how many people are injecting in France. That was not the purpose of this study. Just because it's moving all the time. We know that we evaluate about around like 300, 400 people in France, the number of slummers, but maybe it's less, maybe it's more. It's really difficult to know, just because they don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to be so, they don't want the visibility on this practice. So there is a lot of stigmatization, a lot of judgment about injection in the gay community. And so that's why it's difficult, it's really difficult to know precisely how many people are concerned. Clinicians and slummers report in the number of slummers. Okay. According to the informant in the study, the number of slummers seems to be increasing. It still remains relatively limited. For the moment, and after 2 years, we can say in France that okay, the problem is the community, all community knows this practice, and they are not anymore afraid. When you are talking about injection to the gay community, 2 years ago, everybody was like, my God, never. I'm not a drug user. I don't want to inject. It's like no. And now it's more common. It's like, okay, why not? It's like the new practice. The products, I talk about it just before, so it's fine. That's one of the most, and the biggest problem is the availability and cost. You can find it on internet, most of these products, except the cocaine. But for the cocaine, the gay people, they know exactly where they can find cocaine. But the other products like methadone and catinol, you can find it on internet, special website for that kind of consumption. And the cost is nothing. It's about 12 to 14 euros for a gram. So, and you order by internet, and you have a free delivery the day after in your mail, in your box, in your letterbox. So it's really easy. It's really anonymous. And you can find this product all the time, everywhere. The dosage, they don't know anything about it. And that's one of the major problems that we have to think about in the future. We really have to think about the dosage and everything. It's new. Medical and psychological, you can see it. It's like general complication for sure, because when you don't sleep for 3 days or 4 days, and you just use drugs and you have sex for 2 days or 3 days, for sure it's not perfect for your body. So that's one alteration of general state for sure, and it's faster than with the other drugs. It's really faster. It's going faster. Diverse complication, okay, complication related to injection. No psychiatric complication. It's really difficult to stop with this practice and this product. So we have many people who need this psychological assistance when they decide to quit. Complication related to use of erection stimulant, treatment compliance, HIV, sexual restalking, a real issue, psychological issues, and social consequence. We can see it normally the people that start slamming. Okay, I'm going to go very fast. But the desocialization is very, very common with the people who use that kind of drugs, because they don't go to work. They spend the whole weekend having sex and using drugs, and they don't go to work again on the Monday. And they lose, first of all, they lose the job, then the apartment, and it's going very fast. So I just have 2 minutes, or maybe. No, it's okay. No? Yeah. No, it's so long. I'm sorry. But maybe I can go directly. I think you understood that. Maybe we can go directly to the perspective. Targeted dissemination of findings. Interdisciplinary. Since a long time in the HIV and HIV community, we all work on prevention or sexual prevention or harm reduction. And for the first time, we have to work on these two concepts, but together. And it's going to be a challenge for us. And it's one of the big perspective and big challenge for the future. Thank you.